Getting in there for the sack is Jordan Hill, who's become a sacking machine.
We're now joined by Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll. And coach, there's an amazing stat. This team is 12-1 under you going back to 2010 in primetime games. What is it about that setting that brings out the best in this team?
Well, I think our guys feel comfortable in those kinds of in those opportunities. We don't change anything. We really try to play just like we're capable, and we've had good success, and we're proud of that. I don't know how much it means, but hopefully we can do it one more time.
I want to dispel a myth. There's been a lot of talk about red zone struggles, and yet this team is second in red zone scores, fifth in red zone points. What does that tell you?
Well, we're getting some work done down there. We're always disappointed when we leave the touchdowns, out there and when we can't get them. But we are effective. We are efficient. We don't turn the ball over. Russell does a nice job of giving us a chance to score points. The guys do a nice job of taking care of the football, and so I think it's an overall statement that that we're a good, solid team. But we always want to do better.
How can you become even more efficient in the red zone?
Well, always got to knock them in. We got to knock those plays in. It's so close. Sometimes it's a pickup, sometimes it's a throw, and it's just you just miss your opportunity. We're confident when we get down there, obviously, but we need to do just a little bit better.
Now, Russell Wilson's lost 10 games on the road. He's only lost 2 at home, and yet his numbers as far as touchdowns and interceptions are extremely similar. What does that tell you about your quarterback?
Well, back in the day when we first started, there was conversation the other way that he was struggling on the road, if you remember. So he's made a big comeback there, and he realizes that it doesn't matter where we play. Whether we're at home or on the road, he still needs to function and carry out his business, and just like he always does. I think it's also a statement about our team understanding how to play on the road as well.
You always preach it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and yet this team in December, 10-2 over the last 3 seasons, first in turnover differential, first in point differential as well. What does that say about, kind of sticking to that philosophy that you preach?
Well, we're real proud of that. I think any competitor likes to finish really well, so as a team, this is something we've always taken great pride in. We spend a lot of time, a lot of emphasis on understanding about finish, and there's nothing better than finishing well. So hopefully we can do it again. Here we are. We're faced with the opportunity once more.
Bruce Arians, they've taken a lot of defensive risks this season. And how complex are those blitzing schemes, and what do you do to kind of defend against that?
Well, yeah, they are risk-oriented. They don't mind, and they take their shots, and the players play to that. They have a real style about them. Todd Bowles does a great job in mixing his calls. It's challenging, because they're willing to go ahead and take that shot that can cause a bad play. And they've created a lot of turnovers and had a lot of success in the fourth quarter of the season. So it is an issue, and it's one hopefully we can address. It's really good when you're not in a really tight game in the fourth quarter. If you can get out ahead, it would help. But in this one in particular, it's going to be a battle. We know they're coming after us. We'll need to execute really well.
Can you take more chances going up against a third-string quarterback as opposed to a more savvy veteran quarterback like a Peyton Manning or an Aaron Rodgers?
There's no question that the veteran guys, they can smell a rat. They can see it coming. And they know when, the slightest flinch will give them a cue that they can try to take advantage of with protection, adjusting routes, fixing the call. So, yeah, you do have a better opportunity against the younger guys, for sure.
The word compete, it's the centerpiece of your entire philosophy. Why pick that word, compete, as opposed to always battle or always contend?
Well, it's just, it comes from where I kind of figured out what's important to me personally. It's about being a competitor, and so I thought, way back when we kind of constructed the philosophy, it was to be really close to my heart, so that I can really stand for the meaning of it. Compete's about striving for something in the way we look at it, and so we're always working to find our best, always working to figure out how far we can take things, and you know, as opposed to what you might think of striving against and trying to beat somebody. It's not that at all in our mentality. It's about striving for our very best, and so that's kind of always been at the core of my makeup, and so I wanted to do something that we could really stand for and be really consistent with. It's worked out pretty good.
Yes, it has. Our Twitter question this week comes from @MillsBoy1. Coach, what is harder, getting rookies to learn your system or keeping veterans from teaching their kind of style?
Well, really, nothing's hard about it. It just takes consistency, and fortunately, we've had our young players learn, what we think is important, and they've kind of embraced it, and they've become the ones that help us send the message and teach. So our veterans basically stand for what we're all about, and they're the beacons for what we think is important, which is really the best way to teach and send your message. So we don't have an issue with it at all. There's no problems there. It's just an ongoing process of trying to hammer away what we really think is important.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Big one tomorrow. Good luck.
Here we go.
If you have a question for Pete Carroll, send us that question on Twitter with the hashtag AskCoachP. We'll read one or two on the show every Saturday night during the season. Again, that's hashtag AskCoachP.
I'm Michelle Ledka.
I'm Bobby Wagner.
And up after the break, we find out why this guy is the heart of the defense. Stay tuned.